Weitzmann, editor of Le Meilleur des Mondes, which is the most challenging and exciting new journal in France, met with great success in saying the unsayable and promoting the unthinkable of political change and vibrancy in the French political discourse. Tell us what it's like to be a dissident in a Western open society that prides itself on accessibility to all manner of ideas.
No, it's a big word. We're not dissident. We're just isolated for a long time intellectually in France, since, let's say, since the early 2000s. And we're just, a few intellectuals and writers, each in its corner, trying to work. And we just ended up not being able to talk to anyone at some point, because of not just because of the French policy, because of the French atmosphere, the French intellectual atmosphere after 2000, especially 2001.
Were you able to publish what you wanted to publish?
Yeah, of course. No, we're not living in any kind of dictatorship in France. No, but the atmosphere.
Anarchist dictatorship? Is that not real?
We just became the atmosphere at some point became a little bit unhealthy between the anti-Americanism and anti-Israelism, especially in the media world. You just could not have a healthy discussion with anyone. So we ended up thinking that we should create our own thing, our own review. At first, it was just to have someone to talk to, and at the end, maybe we thought if we could help to change something, to change maybe not things, but at least the atmosphere in the intellectual world would contribute to something. And so that's how the review came out, really. There was Journalist Weitzmann, Pascal Bertner, me, Pierre Taguieff, and a few others, French intellectuals.
Many of whom came from the Nouvelle Philosophe.
Yeah, the oldest of us came from the fight for the dissidents. Most notoriously, Weitzmann and Pascal Bertner, who has done a great job to support the dissidents of the Soviet Union in the 70s and from the new philosophy. So there was this background, and that helped us. Also, I think it helps to understand what was wrong in France at the time, in the early 2000s. Those people had been involved in the anti-totalitarian fight of the 70s, and they could see probably much better than most of the intellectual crowd in Paris who were still involved in leftist ideology. They could feel better what was wrong.
Totalitarian.
Yes, I wouldn't say totalitarian, but at least the slightly perverse and unhealthy atmosphere that was going on at the time, and was encouraged by the government, by Chirac's government. I certainly would not say that there was a totalitarian regime in France. It would be completely absurd.
No, but to say that there were ideas that were acceptable to circulate and then those that were not.
Yeah, absolutely.
A position in support of America was de facto unpopular, to put it mildly.
It was
probably.
Yes, and yeah. It was more. Once again, there was no official words. There was, at least in 2000, 2001, the official line was to support the Americans, but you could feel that the population was split. There was this rampant enthusiasm for seeing America in trouble.
Right. And Iraq has not.
And of course, the Iraq crisis really was the peak of that moment. Then during the Franco-American crisis over Iraq, then you could really see all the contradictions and the dead end where French diplomacy and French politics had led to the country. The pacifist demonstrations were a mix of weird people, going from the leftists to Chirac supporters to Hamas militants. It was really weird.
You described at one point the degree of tolerance for a level of physical abuse in the
there was a few incidents. You mean during the demonstration?
Yes.
Yeah, there was a few physical incidents, especially in Israeli flags were burned down, some Jews were attacked.
Soccer match.
Yeah, there was a soccer match that was seriously attacked. Well, it's difficult to have a real estimation of that kind of incidents, because once you mention that, you begin to have the feeling that we went through a kind of Bristol in France, which would be completely misleading. What was true is that, especially if you were Jewish, we went through a period that none of us could have imagined it could go through a few years before. Things that were just unthinkable.
Sarkozy will presumably address some of these.
Sarkozy's election certainly, first of all, it means two things. It means first that this unhealthy atmosphere I was talking about apparently never had a real root in the population. That's one very positive thing.
Right.
The other thing is that his election,
it's strictly an intelligentsia.
Yes,
phenomenon.
yes, was led by some medias and some sort of intelligentsia. The other thing is that this election opens a new potential, not only for France, but we'll see. I mean, it's very soon to draw conclusions from that. But Tony Blair in England is going. Sarkozy is arriving. He's pretty much more of an Atlantist than he's not anti-American, at least, to say the least. He has a much more balanced view, and he's able. I think he's going to be able. There's a real opportunity for France now to lead Europe in a much healthier direction and to create new opportunities to work together.
Finally, do you think Sarkozy will be more aggressive in support of dissidents around the world, as we've been discussing at this conference? Do you think?
I do not know if that. I'm not a politician, but certainly the arrival of someone like Bernard Kouchner, the Minister for Youth Affairs, is a sign. Bernard Kouchner has been involved in humanitarian action and fights for dissidents for a long, long time. What he's going to be able to do and what is going to be real politics, we don't know yet.
Right.
But those signs are certainly, messages. What the action will be, we don't know. But it's certainly it's a symbolic change, certainly compared with the previous administration.
Yes.